What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 273 and the backlog shrinks again 2 more feet and I can fit it in the fridge. Shout out to anyone that gets that reference as it's another stupid, sexy sponsored episode of the show off the backlog. Archangel Otaku. It's a mouthful, is the sponsor in question this week. And as you can probably tell by the title of the episode and maybe that music, Burnout Revenge is the poison he picked. And for the record, when it comes to the music, I know this game's soundtrack fucking owns. I get it. I've been playing it. I've heard it just like the rest of you. Problem is, it's like covering a Tony Hawk game. Most of the music is no bueno when it comes to the show. So I've done my best. I don't even, at this point while I'm recording it, I don't know what music I'm putting in this episode, but if you were hoping to hear like Yellow Card or whatever your favorite band from the soundtrack was, that's just the first one that came to mind. They're not my favorite band. I can't use that music. All right. So I did my best. Worst case, if I can't figure out any of the music to use, I'll put in like some Mario Kart or something, but we'll take our chances. Hopefully I found some form of audio to play off the top there. And again, as the show goes on. Also, if I sound a little hoarse this week, I'm getting over COVID. I've been very, very sick for a few days. So I hope the audio is okay and I'm hearable and all that good stuff. All right. Now, when Ark initially made this choice last year, and yeah, he made it last year, which for all of you that have been asking why aren't sponsored episodes still available, that is why. It took me all of 2023 to catch up, and I don't want to be that far behind again. But when Ark picked Burnout Revenge last year, I was kind of nervous because I know a lot of people like this game, but racing games and I mix about as well as mayo and chocolate ice cream, which is a mistake you only make once, my friends. And outside of like kart racers and F-Zero and stuff, I've never really been a racing guy. But I did play Need for Speed Most Wanted a little while ago, and I actually thought it was fucking awesome. And a ton of you have been telling me, like, if you liked Most Wanted, try Burnout. So I finally did, and yeah, y'all were right. It is also fucking awesome. This game is sick. I don't, like look, I'm going to put my cards on the table. I don't think I'm ever going to be into the simulation racing games, the Gran Turismos and stuff like that. I see the brilliance. They look nice, but every time I've tried them, I've just fucking hated them. But these arcade racers where I don't need to know anything about cars or the car parts or anything, and I can just drive around and crash and not tune my spark plugs or gap my exhaust pipe or whatever. I actually really like these games. They're tickling my pickle. I'm enjoying this. Burnout Revenge is awesome too because there's no story, there's no real cars, there's no garage to go into for upgrades or anything. You literally just pick a challenge and you either race or just cause as much destruction as possible. I think I would have loved this game if it had existed when I was a kid and I could have just caused car crashes and laughed at them. But I'll tell you, as a 40-year-old playing it, that's exactly what I did anyways, and I think I got just as much out of it. So Ark's going to swing by and tell me about his time with Burnout Revenge and why all of the games, of all of the games he could have picked, why he decided to go with this one. And then my pal Joe gives me a call and we're going to geek out about crashing cars, and it's really all you do. It's mindless fun, and I love it. And we'll get to all that in just a minute because speaking of mindless fun, it's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. Dun, 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 dun. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard. Consider this your warning. Our intros are kind of long, but they're fun. We talk video games and shit. It's a good time, and I really can't think of a way to compare them to Burnout Revenge. I don't have anything, but they're fun. If you want to skip it, you just want Burnout talk, go to about the 30-minute mark, you'll be there. But I recommend hanging around. We'll answer some questions and shit. It's good times. Before I do any of that, I have to let's blow through the plugs because it's how we keep the bills on around here. We have all kinds of merch available at rememberthegamepodcast.com. It was all designed by my man Joe from 4545 Creative. So show him a little bit of love and check it out if you're interested. And of course, if you don't like clothes, I get it. You can always support us on Patreon. It's about the best deal in the history of the internet. Our subscriptions start at $3 a month, and you're going to get yourself up to 4 additional podcasts every week. Monday, we're talking Simpsons on Purple Monkey Dishwasher with Mark McHugh. Tuesday, I'm talking whatever the fuck I want on The Rambling Idiot, where I just talk about my life and whatever's going on. Friday, we're talking modern gaming news with Game Patch. That's always a really good time. And Thursday, we're talking random gaming topics every week with Expansion Pass, which is my favorite of the 4 additional shows we do. This past week, very rare, there actually was no Expansion Pass. I was sick as fuck and I couldn't record one, so I don't have a peek past the podcast or the sneak peek or whatever the fuck I call it like I usually do. But this coming week, tomorrow, Sorry if I'm out of. I'm still kind of out of it. Like I feel like this is a shitty episode to start. Focus on your words. I'm mumbling my words and I'm stumbling on. I don't feel sharp. I feel dull, rusty and dull. Anyways, there was no expansion pass this past week. It's very rare I miss an episode, but I couldn't record. I couldn't move or breathe. But we should be back this week. So tomorrow for all Patreons, it will be expansion pass 186, which will be my Spider-Man 2 spoiler cast. Should be a good time if you want to check that out. So again, subscription started just $3 a month. You get new podcasts every week. You get instant access to hundreds. There are over 500 archive bonus podcasts waiting over there on Patreon right now, all ad-free. You can actually view the entire catalog on Spotify. If you're interested, go to rememberthegamepodcast.com to find the link to do that. Not only do you get a bunch of extra podcasts over on Patreon, but you get the access to our Discord. You get the chance to vote in our Patreon polls every month. You get the ability to submit comments for the shows. You can DM with me, and you even get a shout-out and get to hear me mispronounce your name like I'm about to do to most of these people. A huge thank you to our newest Patreons. Rivas. I'm going Rivas. Rivas 27, JG Cuff, Giz Goblin. I hope it's not Jizz Goblin. I think it's Giz Goblin. Chase Gent, Master Meats, James Hanselick, Richard Barrera, Level Up Retro, Roger to the Coast, Dash Render Spaceship, Beaver Rescue Falls Short. That's a great fucking pull. David Dryden and Chairman Jones. That's the easy way to become a chairman. You just put it in your name and you're on the board. It's done. Thank you all so much for the support and welcome to Remember the Game Industries, patreon.com/rememberthegame. And don't forget, you can find me over on Twitch whenever I feel like getting on there. I'm going to try to get on there this Friday for some Super Mario RPG, twitch.tv/memberthegame. And I'm on Cameo now. Cameo.com/Adam Blank. I think it's deactivated right now. I'm still on there. I'm just not taking videos because I couldn't record them, but I'll turn it back on in the next day or two here, all right? That's not blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. Our first blower this week was Ted Explosion, who said, "Hey, Adam, I just had a thought while starting up GTA 5 for the first time, 10 years late, I know. When you start a new game, what setting are you automatically changing? For me, it's inverting vertical because apparently my brain is upside down, and as a Canadian, any unit of measurement to metric. What are yours?" I can't think of any games that have units of measurement. I'm thinking about that. And for the record, don't feel bad about being 10 years late to GTA 5, Ted Explosion. You want to know a dirty secret? I've never played GTA 5. I know. I can hear people yelling at me all the way. I'll get, maybe. You know what? I'm not even going to guarantee I'm going to get to it. I honestly don't even know. But at some point, maybe. But I haven't played it before. What settings do I go in and change? I'm trying to think. Not many. I turn on subtitles most of the time just because I don't know. I hate missing shit, and it's not like watching it on Netflix where I can rewind. So I usually turn on subtitles. It's funny on the inversion thing, the inverting the vertical, because I don't know if anyone else is like this or if I'm a weirdo. I would say it's like half the time I want my vertical stick, analog, whatever, inverted, and half the time I don't. Like, it's so weird. I have no constant across the board. There's some games where I want up to be up, and there's some games where I want up to be down. And I really have no method to my madness at all. So I don't change that. The only other thing I do in modern games now is a lot of games now you can choose between like a better frame rate or like a higher resolution or whatever I don't know what the term is. I always go with the better frame rate. I really don't care about like 4K versus 1840 versus 910 or whatever the fuck those numbers are. But 60 frames per second is a hell of a lot smoother than 30. So that's the only other thing. I turn on subtitles and I go to 60 frames per second. I can't think of anything else I change. What games have units of measurement? Tell me this. Or are you just talking about like when you set like the weight of like a created character or something? I'm interested, Ted. Let me know. Good luck. Enjoy GTA 5. I hear it's not bad. Super Garbage Day said, "Okay, so you're 2 behind the blinds, pre-flop. You have Jack 10 suited. There was a 3-bet behind you. What is your play?" So if you don't know that's a poker play. I don't often read a lot of poker comments on here, but I just thought, honestly, like, so Jack 9, my favorite hand is Pocket Queens. I don't know why I have this weird thing for Jack 9. I don't know why, because I never win with it, but I like that hand. But I'm a big fan of Jack 10 suited. This is a hard question, because, like, am I playing cash game? Am I playing in a tournament? What's my chip stack? All that. Are we in the money? Are we in the bubble? Like, where are we with all this? Generally, though, I don't like throwing away Jack 10 suited. I'm willing to see a flop with Jack 10 suited. So, assuming I've got the chips to make that call without crippling myself, I'm probably going to make that call and then fold it to a shove if anybody comes over the top. But I'm willing to see a flop with Jack 10 suited. I like that hand. It's a good hand. I don't know if it's true, but I could swear I read somewhere that Jack 10 suited is the most likely hand to crack aces. So I don't know if that's true. Anyways, we'll move on because I know not everybody cares about poker. I love poker and we never talk about it, so I thought I'd mix one in. Maverick said, "Hey, I'm not sure if you've answered this before, but if so, my bad. Were you ever worried that turning your passion of video games into a profession would ruin video games for you? Not gonna lie, I'm pretty inspired by you to do something I love as a profession, but I get worried it'll make me resent it one day. I hope you're feeling better and you're on double secret probation for introducing me to Tetris 99 because now I am addicted." Fuck yeah, welcome to the Tetris 99 cult. Maverick. Also, it's too late now. I was going to say, remember to get the Mario RPG skin, but it's over. So, hope you remember to go get it. You know what? When I started the podcast, I wasn't worried that it would ruin my love of video games because, as I said in the early days, I didn't think anybody would ever listen to it. And I really didn't think I'd still be doing the show 5 years later. As the time has gone on, I wouldn't say it's hurt my love of video games, but it's made me want to try other things. Because it used to be that, like, I'd work all day, and then when I wasn't working, I would unwind with video games. But now, my whole day revolves around either playing, writing, or talking about video games. So I find myself looking for things that aren't video games at night. But I really mean it. Like, this is why I always tell people when I get asked for podcast advice, talk about something you're really passionate about. Because if I didn't love video games as much as I do with the amount of my life that's based on them now, I would have burned out on them. And I think the only reason I haven't is because I just genuinely love this hobby more than anything else I've ever done for a hobby. I fucking love playing video games. Like, I'll play them during the day for the show, and then at night I'll fucking sit down and play Spider-Man 2 or something. I'll never get bored of video games. So, no. It has changed the way I look at them, and it's made me look at other alternatives to kill time. But no, it hasn't hurt my love of video games. So, Kanezilla said, "Good morning, Adam. Long-time listener, first-time blower." I don't think that's true, Kane. I've read your comments somewhere. Anyway, after listening to the Mario Super Show special last week, it got me reminiscing. We were late to the party when it came to purchasing the original NES. Family and friends had one, but we only had our trusted Commodore 64, and our favorite game was the Great Gianna Sisters. It's a knockoff of Mario, but quite enjoyable. Have you ever played it or heard of it? Are there any other knockoff or bootleg games out there that have made an impact on your gaming life? Keep up the good work for the podcast. Such a great investment for my 9.35 Australian dollary dues. So no, to answer your question, Kanezilla, I have never heard of the Great, I don't know if it's Gianna sisters. So I Googled it because it sounded made up as fuck. I Googled it. Holy shit. If you've never seen this game, look it up. Just take out your phone right now. You're probably listening to the show on the phone. Just Google it. Great Gianna sisters. It's not just a knockoff of Super Mario, but this is like, it looks the exact fucking same. I gotta try this game at some point. I am intrigued as all fuck by the Great whatever sisters. I've never heard of this game, but that is a knockoff and a half. Holy fuck. As far as are there any other knockoff or bootleg games out there that have made an impact on my gaming life? I don't think so. Like, not off the top of my head. Like, there's definitely a lot of games that have taken blatant inspiration from other games, but as far as something this apparent as far as a knockoff goes, I know it's a lame answer, but I don't think so. I just wanted to read your comment because after I read it on Patreon, I Googled the Great Gianna sisters, and I couldn't fucking believe that this game existed, and I wanted to put it out there to the world. First time, 273 episodes that this game has come up on our show, and I need to know more about this. What a fucking trip. So look it up if you haven't seen it. It's wild. Wizard of Gore said, "Hey Adam, if money and development knowledge weren't an issue, have you ever thought about making your own video game? And if so, what kind of game would you want it to be? Keep up the great work." I do get asked this quite a bit. And assuming that, I like that you threw in like money and development knowledge are out the window. You just basically have a golden pencil and you can make a video game. Assuming that it would be Remember the Game themed, I'm assuming that's what you want it to be. I know a lot of people are probably thinking of platformers. Some of you have made Remember the Gaming platformers and they're fucking awesome. I think actually I would either make a podcast business simulation game or where you run Remember the Game, or a tactical RPG, like something along the lines of a South Park Stick of Truth, or Fractured Butthole, excuse me. Like something funny where you get to play as like me and some of my friends and Molly. Maybe Molly is the final boss. No, the mysterious Shaley is the final boss. No, Retronauts is the final. Oh, man. No, the Nintendo Yakuza are the final boss because they're mad at me for talking about their game. It could be anything. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So I'll say that. Either maybe we'll do both. We'll do a mobile game that's a business simulator, and then we'll do a console game that's a tactical RPG. Yes. Lock it in. Thank you, Wizard of Gore. Dr. Shaggy, you're not a doctor, said, hey, Adam, is there any way we can watch or listen to On World your comedy? What? Is there any way we can watch or listen to On World your comedy shows? I think you watch or listen to one of your comedy shows. I live in the UK, so seeing you live is not an option. You know what? I have a couple of, I get asked this a lot too. I have a few clips on YouTube. I really don't post much of my stand-up, but I just went through the whole rigmarole with Spotify to get all my comedy tracks isolated. I think there's one other track under my name right now that's not related to me. I've reached out to them about getting it taken off. But if you search for Adam Blank on Spotify, they're on Apple and stuff too, but I know most of you are on Spotify. If you search for Adam Blank on Spotify, all the tracks I've recorded with Just for Laughs are on there. There's like 6, I think. It's about 20 minutes of stand-up. I don't really like it, but it is there. So that's really all I've got, though. Giz Goblin said, Adam, I already used my first time pass on Play One, Remake One, or Race One, so please don't ban me. I just wanted to thank you for supporting Resident Evil 5 as a decent game for years. I was alone in that race. I know it's not as good as 4 or 7, but it is a good game, and what makes you like it? You know what, Goblin? I want you to know you're not alone. If there is a very vocal, I don't know if I'd say minority, there's a very vocal portion of our audience that is pro Resident Evil 5. And I want to just say that I'm here for it. Resident Evil 5 is a good game. I have not played it in, Jesus Christ, 15 years. Like, I know people have said they'd like to hear an episode about it on the show. That's one of those ones I need to replay. I just remember, you said what makes you like it. A lot of people bring up the co-op aspect. I never really played it co-op because I have no friends, as y'all know. I just thought it was a fun game. I just thought it was like a fun game to play. It definitely got away from the horror and stuff a little bit more than like a Resident Evil 4 or certainly a Resident Evil 7. But I thought it was just a really fun third-person shooter. I just remember playing it on my 360 because I loved Resident Evil 4. And then when I bought Resident Evil 5, I was like, this is dope. I just thought it was a really fun, good game that I've actually been jonesing to go back to. I'd love to see it get the remake treatment like 4 did, but I don't think it's going to. I think they're going to do Zero or Code Veronica next. But, yeah, I'd like to go back to it at some point. I just think it's a fun game. Like, nothing about it really stands out to me other than I just remember thinking it was a lot of fun to play. I'd like to try it with a friend. I got to make a friend. Man, that's the dream. Life goals. I'm writing in my diary here. Make a friend. And finally, before we move on, it's letter time. Wasabi wrote in and said, hey, Adam, long-time listener, but first-time blower. Since you covered a cartoon show last week, I was curious to see, what is your all-time favorite cartoon? Mine was Reboot. Not just because it is proudly Canadian made, but also because it was so unique. For a 1994 cartoon, they were so in advance, or so much ahead of their time, with subjects like the net, NPCs, viruses, and their use of CGI. For me, the theme music will always hit the nostalgia button so hard. Hope you've recovered from COVID, and I wish you the best. Thank you, Wasabi. I will absolutely shout out Reboot. I fucking loved that show when I was a kid. Oh my God. And then I stopped watching it for a while, and then I came back, and all of a sudden Enzo wasn't like a little wiener anymore. He was this dude on steroids with one eye. And he was like, the fuck happened here? And then he like goes back and he finds Bob, and then they go, oh my God. I loved Reboot. That show was fucking wild back in the day. I can hear that music in my head as well. No one knows for sure, but I intend to find out. Reboot. If you haven't seen it, look up Reboot. It's a good show. If we're talking all-time cartoons, it's either Simpsons or South Park, for sure. If we're talking from my childhood, I think I've got to go with, it's got to be either the Turtles cartoon from 87 or Real Ghostbusters. those are my two favorite cartoons growing up. Although I will say, as I've said countless times, people have argued with me, I don't care. 2003 and 2012 TMNT are substantially better shows than 87 TMNT, but I just grew up with the original. So all time, it's either Simpsons, South Park. As a child, it's got to be Ninja Turtles or Real Ghostbusters. And then you could throw in like, holy fuck, Samurai Pizza Cats, My Pet Monster. I actually really liked Care Bears when I was a kid. Hate on me, I don't care. Beasley's fucking awesome. So many. Yeah, I'll go with that, because otherwise we're gonna sit here and just talk cartoons for days. I'll go with that. If we're talking all time, I think it's got to be South Park. I love The Simpsons, but The Simpsons is more bad than good. South Park is more good than bad. So good shit. Thank you everybody for writing in as always. Let's keep this ball moving, as the kids say, and let's switch things up again to our Smash Hit segment, the official game show of Remember the Game Industries. It is Play One, Remake One, Erase One. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week, I give our listeners 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one, and we'll get to that in just a minute. This week, we're talking a racing game, so I went with 3 of the racing heavyweights from the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era. We have Need for Speed Most Wanted, Gran Turismo 3, and Forza Motorsport. And what was cool was the 3 leading options on the poll all involved playing a different game. 40% of you said play Gran Turismo, remake Need for Speed, and erase Forza. That was the winner. Let's see what a few of you had to say here. And then I'll tell you what the right answer was. Works for me. Said this one is easy. Remake Need for Speed Most Wanted. It was an outstanding game and it just needs a fresh coat of paint. Play Forza because Microsoft needs to retain the few exclusives they still have. And play Gran Turismo 3 because them the rules. Now, the reason I read this is because I don't think you intended to circumvent the rules, because you literally ended your statement by saying them the rules, but you're remaking Most Wanted, playing Forza, and playing Gran Turismo. I'm thinking you meant to say erase Gran Turismo, but you didn't, and because you didn't, I did say double secret probation. Don't cheat works. Even if you didn't intend to cheat, you still cheated. A cheater is a cheater. Mercury869 said, as the unofficial racing game expert here to Remember the Game Industries, that is not at all official, I feel like I should weigh in. Play Forza. This game kicked off what is probably the best casual driving game series on the market. Remake Gran Turismo 3. It's not the best in the franchise, as that's number 2, but this game holds up well. Give it a new coat of paint. It plays great and has a great soundtrack. Erase Most Wanted. Look, this game is good, but EA jumped the shark with Underground 2, as that's the best Need for Speed game ever made. Sorry, Most Wanted. You didn't even have your car in this one. Shout out to whoever gets that reference. I do not, but I like your logic, and I know you know your racing games, and I respect that cut of the jib. Level Up Retro said, this was an easy one for me. I'll die on this hill alone if I have to. I would play Forza. Love that game. Still love the game, even with the newest release. Remake Gran Turismo 3, as it was one of my favorites growing up, and seeing it redone in 4K would be legit. And delete Need for Speed Most Wanted. Look, I gave that game so many tries, but there are far better Need for Speed games that could easily distract me, although I do find myself playing Crash Team Racing, Diddy Kong Racing, and Mario Kart instead. I will say I haven't played the original Crash Team Racing, but I've played the modern one. I like that Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing better than any other racing game I've ever played. For the record, kart racers better than arcade racers, better than sim racers, better than racism. Don't be racist. If you're racist, you're a cunt. Jack Blackman said, play Gran Turismo 3. I don't really like racing games a whole lot, but this game got me hooked in career mode despite having to restart on my first playthrough. As knowing nothing about cars, I picked a Chrysler PT Cruiser as my starting vehicle. That right there is why I don't play those games, because I don't even know what the fuck that means. I kind of know what a PT Cruiser is, but I don't know why that is bad or not. Remake Need for Speed, as it would look and play great on modern consoles, and erase Forza. Even the more recent games have never managed to keep my interest. They look great, but I don't find them fun. They look spectacular. I don't play Forza, but boy, they're good. They're easy on the eyes. And David Schroeder said, honestly, this was easy. I'll play Forza. I've always liked those games. I would remake Need for Speed Most Wanted. It's an amazing game, and I've always loved Need for Speed, and Most Wanted was incredible. And I would delete Gran Turismo. For as much as a PlayStation guy as I am, I don't think Gran Turismo does the genre as well as Forza does on the Xbox. I would like to like it, but they were never for me, and the rules are the rules, so I'll get rid of that one. The rules are the fucking rules. Work for me. You hear that? Tip of my hat to David. He knows the rules. I'm actually going with the runner-up this week. 28% of you voted the way I did, including Radmac, who said, play Forza. Sounds promising and fun. Remake Need for Speed Most Wanted. It's a badass game that was always super fun and a great franchise. Fuck Gran Turismo. Boring as shit, bullshit racing franchise. If I wanted to watch realistic racing, I'd watch it on television. And if I was that big into cars, I'd rather invest the $70 in working on my own car. This is a video game, and the only realism that matters to me is how realistic the damage is, like BeamNG, or how totally over the top it is. On that note, how is it that Gran Turismo persists and San Francisco Rush died? What a shame. P.S. If you like Gran Turismo, we can still be friends. I agree. We can still be friends, but I also agree that I don't like Gran Turismo. I'm going to play Forza because I've got to play one that I haven't played before. I've played Need for Speed Most Wanted. I've played Gran Turismo, so I'm going to play Forza because I haven't. I'm going to remake Need for Speed Most Wanted because I fucking love that game. I'm going to race Gran Turismo because this series burned its fucking bridge with me when I spent my hard-earned and very limited gaming budget in high school on the first Gran Turismo, and it wouldn't give me a goddamn driver's license. I fucking hate that game. I'm sorry. We can be friends. It's fine if you like it. Oh God. I can fucking, especially because I remember trying to get my actual driver's license at the same time, and I was like, I don't need to lose it this twice. Actually, true story. I passed my driver's test first try. Fuck you. But anyways, and I did it with one eye, so what's your fucking excuse? Anyways, thank you everybody that wrote in to play along as always. I appreciate it. We're going to pause here. I really need a drink of water. We're going to have a quick word from our sponsors, then I'll tell you what I've been playing, and we'll get into Burnout Revenge. All right? We'll be right back. We've had some great partners over the years here at Remember the Game, but I don't know if any of them have hit home for me quite like Hometown Hero does. No pun intended. Don't start. It's a transparent, honest cannabis company that helps people and gives back to those that have served their country at the same time. I mean, come on. As soon as I read about these guys, I knew I wanted to work with them. Hometown Hero is a cannabis company out of Austin, Texas, and they were founded back in 2015 by a U.S. veteran. They have two goals: create premium hemp products that can help everyone, and to support veterans by donating a portion of those profits to organizations set up to take care of those who have served. Hometown Hero products are of the highest quality, and everything they offer is made right there in the U.S. of A. Gummies, caramels, chocolates, drink mix. There's something for everyone. And what's more, their hemp is grown locally in Texas, which is something they should and do take a lot of pride in. And they offer certificates of analysis for everything they sell because they want to be clear that their products are as advertised, both in terms of potency and ingredients. No contaminants, you get what you pay for. Just how they conduct business is enough to get my good eyes' attention, but when you circle back to the fact that the company was founded by a veteran and they put such heavy emphasis on supporting veterans, this isn't just lip service. I'm not reading a script I was given here. I'm proud to have Hometown Hero associated with Remember the Game. Reclaim your evening. Visit hometownhero.com and use code RTG to take 20% off your first purchase. That's hometownhero.com, code RTG for 20% off your first purchase. This is an ad by BetterHelp. A band once said, "Work sucks, I know." And I think most people agree with them. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress from their jobs. And while walking away from your job might not be an option, taking a little time every day to focus on yourself and your mental health can make a huge difference. I know in the summer I try to get outside every day, get a little bit of sun, and just enjoy the outdoors. It really helps. At least until my allergies attack, and then it's ugly. It's important to take steps to combat work stress, and therapy can be a huge one. It's not just for overcoming trauma. Therapy can help you define work goals, set some work boundaries, develop coping skills. It's like a cheat code for life. And if you're thinking, man, I'm too busy for therapy, well, look into BetterHelp. They make therapy as convenient as possible. You can meet with one of their over 30,000 therapists online and on your schedule, just like over 5 million people around the world already have done. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. All right, what have I been playing over the last week? Honestly, a lot, because I've been fucking sick and just laying in bed playing video games. I've been playing a very special surprise. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I think we're going to cover it on the show next week, and I think it's going to make for a pretty popular episode. I think this is one people have been after, that I played while I was sick. I've been playing Psychonauts. It's pretty cool. We're going to be covering that in a few weeks. I've been playing the Callisto Protocol, And I don't think that game deserves the shit that it takes, but I don't think it's as good as Dead Space, which seems to be the consensus of people that like that game. And then I've been playing the new Mario Kart tracks. They're pretty good. I can live without the tour tracks, but the rest are awesome. And a little bit of Slay the Spire, and a little bit of Tetris 99. Those are that's the gist of it. Okay, let's talk Burnout Revenge. That's why you're here. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off on the game we're covering before my guests and I hog the microphone. So let's see what a few of you had to say. My arch nemesis, Soda Popinski, wrote in and said, "Who would have thought that vehicle carnage and destruction, would be so much fun? This game takes road rash and road rage to a whole new level in my eyes. You can play this game for years and it'll never get old. The game works especially well when Angry Adam peeks his evil little head in." I didn't get that angry this one, other than when I was trying to figure out how to play it. But I agree with you. You can just play it it does never get old. It's just mindless fun. And I don't mean that at all as a dig. It's awesome. I Forget said, "Such a fun game. Great memories with this one. I still remember how cool it was when I realized I could smash into cars driving the same direction." Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. I like it. Matthew Boyce said, to sum up such a classic, this game is the equivalent of To sum up, such a classic this game is the equivalent to putting your Hot Wheels tracks together for as much destruction as possible in video game form, and it works into a great game. I actually think I compared it to playing with your Hot Wheels as a kid too. I agree. That's exactly what it is. It's Hot Wheels just smashing cars into each other in real life. It's not in real life, I guess. Shut up. Makes sense. Good job, Matthew. Shifty Looking Thane said, "One of the most fun racing games I've ever played. The best part is you don't have to be a good racer to enjoy it." Yes, that is the best fucking part. And High Scores, High Stakes Podcast said, "What a game. From the lost era of pure arcade racers, which I miss so much. Burnout Revenge isn't just a great game, it's an all-time great game. There's just so much to love about it. It's fast, it's furious, visceral racing, and do not get me started on the crash mode. What a game." Yeah, it is. It's one of those like, fucking, I don't need a cutscenes, I don't need a story, I don't need garage, I don't need anything. Just here's a controller. Doesn't matter if you're drunk or you're high, you don't know how to play these games. Just go crash into as much shit as possible. It's brilliant in its simplicity. I love saying that, and it's time to talk about it. I am going to queue up some kind of music. I don't know what I'm allowed to play, but I'll figure out something. And when it stops, Ark, Joe, and I are going to talk Burnout Revenge, which originally released on the PS2 and the original Xbox on September 13th, 2005. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. Let's go. All right, so as I'm sure I explained during the infamous intro that is yet to be recorded, this is another one of our Stupid Sexy sponsored episodes, and joining me right now is said Stupid Sexy sponsor, and I want to thank him not only for his sponsorship, but his patience, because it took almost a year to get to this fucking episode, and that is longtime hot dog Ark. Ark, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for your patience. This took fucking way too long, man.
No worries, man.
So we're talking Burnout Revenge, and I want to know why you love this game. But before we get into any of that, your handle is more than just Ark, and I like to know where the villain origin story. So what's going on? Why are you Ark?
All right, so my full handle is Archangel Otaku.
That's a mouthful.
I heard you stumble across my name with the last episode.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
So okay. My actual name is tied with a like the Archangel of Heaven.
Okay. Oh, I get it, kind of.
And then basically I was like, okay, I can go with that, and then I like anime.
Okay. So you squished it together?
Yeah, I kind of squished it because Archangel is a very popular name.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's like a ton of people listening that are like, oh yeah, I know exactly what it is. They're just like, Adam's an idiot. He doesn't know fucking anything. So, story of my life. I
basically just tagged on Otaku to Archangel.
Okay, I gotcha. All right. Well, it's such a cool looking name. Every time I'm like, I can't say it, but it fucking looks like such an awesome. It looks like my fucking online name is like Blank Adams. Fucking sucks. Your name's got some class to it. It's got some bite. Fucking sounds awesome. So,
all right.
I like it. All right. But you're good with Ark.
Yeah, I'm good with Ark.
You're like, because you don't want me to butcher your name for the next 20 minutes, which is smart.
No,
That's fucking, it's a good play.
I also like it because I can plug the ARC into any arcade games.
Oh, that's clever. Raw, that's smart. See, you're fucking thinking. That's a good idea. Why do you listen to my show? It's a fucking good idea. You're a thinking man. That is, I always run into that problem. I always put HJU for Hoju because the Hoju is too long. So HJU is what I squeak in. All right, Ark. I like that. Why, Ark? We're talking Burnout Revenge. I gotta say, really, really like this game. Y'all are slowly turning me around on racers. I don't know if I'm gonna get into simulation racers, but I like these crash and dash racers.
Screw
Let's start at the
simulation
top.
racers.
Yeah, I'm no interest in those, but that's what I love about this one, the simplicity. So let's start at the top. Why, of all the games you could have picked, why Burnout Revenge?
All right, so I had a family reunion years ago, and I was a young lad going into my cousin's like den, basically. I'm like, I want to play Mario Kart, and they're like, no, we want to play this, and they brought out Burnout Revenge.
So this was your
But
first Burnout.
yes,
Okay.
this is my first Burnout game, and then I played it, and I was, oh my gosh, this is like adult Mario Kart.
It is.
Like you can crash, you can destroy. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
It's funny you say it like that too. You're like, you can crash because I'm like, I've been playing it now for a couple of weeks. And I'm like, that is literally all you fucking do.
It is, but that's the whole point of it.
Like,
It's
I
so
know that
much
there's,
fun.
yeah, like I know there's the occasional, hey, you can race challenge, but I'm like, let's go. I want to
You
crash
can
into more
race, but
shit.
you can also crash.
Yeah. So, all right. So this was your, I like, because this is my first Burnout as well. And you always remember your first. I like
I'm
that.
glad.
So now I'll ask you, I'll put you on the spot then. Is this your favorite racing game?
To quote you, I fucking love this game.
Yeah. It's pretty solid. I get it. It's a fucking really good game.
Yeah, this is my favorite racing game.
Okay. What'd you play it on? I played the 360 version, but what'd
Yeah,
you play it on?
yes, I have it on 360. I've played it on PS2. I've played it on the Xbox 360.
Okay.
It's yeah.
It holds up too. Like I gotta
It
say, dude,
looks
like I
so
was,
good.
yeah, right? Like I was shocked at how good it looked. It fucking looked like a modern game. And I thought maybe I excuse me, I thought maybe it's because I was playing the 360 version, but I looked up the PS2 version and it seems to hold up just fine as well.
It looks exactly the same.
Yeah. Maybe there's something to do with racing games where they're easier to make the graphics age well. I don't fucking know, but
It's
I was shocked.
I think it's easier to make it look better because you don't have to worry about like the character models.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And everything's moving so fast. Really, the only thing you need to look good is your car. Like
Yeah.
everything else is going by so quick and so blurry, you know?
Yes, exactly.
So I feel almost like it's a cheat. So okay, so we know why you picked this game because it's your first Burnout. Um, what do you like? What do you like? Because like I gotta say I love almost everything about it. Like what's your favorite thing? Like what's your favorite about this game? Because like I'll be honest, there's not a lot of meat on its bone. It's just that what's there is so much fucking fun.
It's just such mindless fun. It's like I can like okay, I might sit down on a Friday, I'll have like a sip of like vodka or whatever, and I can just play this game and it's so much fun.
Yeah. I'm trying to give up weed, but I feel like this is a game that I could play high and just fucking laugh at
I
because
could
you
not
don't need to.
agree more.
It's so much just if you haven't played it, like there's no career mode, there's no story, there's no
It's
tweaking your
just
cars.
have fun.
It's just crash. It's like a giant sandbox. It's like did you when you were a little kid, did you ever play with dinky cars and you just like crash them into each other and stuff?
Yes, or
That's
like
what it
crash
is.
dummies.
Yes, exactly. That's what it is, but it's a fucking video game instead. It's wild.
I know we talked about a little bit this before, but did you ever get into the After Effect?
No, okay. So and that's what I want you to explain to me because we're not recording the
Okay,
main part of this for another couple of days. So I still have a couple of days to play this, and I still don't understand what that is.
okay, all right. So when you crash your car, if you hold the A button down, you can steer your wreck.
So like, wait, so like, okay, so if you haven't played the game, there's a lot of modes where like the whole point of the game is to crash cars or crash your car or whatever. And then once you crash, it like shows like like a still camera image of it, and it does say hold A and then move the analog. But like what do you mean you can move your wreck? Like you just like it'll actually move like you're smoking wreckage of your car somewhere else?
Exactly. You hold down A, and then you steer with the trigger, and you can steer your car, and
It makes no sense.
you can see your opponents coming you can see them coming, and you can steer your wreck into their path.
So it's not just because I thought like, especially in that mode, one of the main modes is like where your literal only job is to just crash your car, and then just see how many
No,
cars crash into
no,
you and stuff like
no,
that.
that's exactly what
But
sorry.
then I'm sitting there and like once I crash my car, I'm like, so now it's funny, but I'm like, now I just sit here and watch all the cars pile up. Like, so you're
No!
saying I can move my car into more traffic?
Yes!
How does that like? I'm not complaining because none of this game makes sense. But how? So I can just like the spirits of car crashes will just move my car into into the way of other cars.
No, okay, so, like, during a regular race, you crash, okay, boom, you're done.
Sure.
You can hold down A
Yeah.
and move the wreckage of your car into oncoming traffic, and you can even take out the person that took you out.
Sure. Like, and this is like in the time it takes before it like respawns you or whatever.
Yes, and also when, like, when you're able to explode your car,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
you can explode them immediately.
Oh my god, what a fuck. So like the whole point of this game is to just literally destroy as many lives as
It's
possible.
Burnout Revenge.
We don't even know what we're getting revenge on because there's no story. I
Oh,
love
you're
this
getting
game.
revenge on the person that took you out, man.
I guess so. I guess so. Okay. All right. I'll have to play with that more because I didn't understand that part. But even like, so if you again, I'll ask you, like, what's your favorite mode? Like, because there's the races, there's the take out as many cars as you can, there's the cause as much damage as you can. I don't know
I
all the
do
technical names.
One of my personal favorites is the one where you take down traffic.
Yeah, where it's all about just trying to get like as high of like your score is like the dollar value of the damage you've caused.
That's
And
crash mode.
yeah, and you can like just see like the pile up of cars like just getting
Yeah.
bigger and bigger.
Yeah, the traffic takedown is my
Yeah.
favorite.
Because nobody stops. I love that everyone sees this car crash in front of them and nobody like goes around it or puts on their brakes. Everybody just piles in
Yeah.
and it just gets bigger and bigger. It's fucking hilarious. It seems stupid. If you never played it, it probably seems stupid, but it's so funny to watch these cars pile
And then
up.
so as you see the traffic pile up, your little burn meter fills up,
Yeah.
fills up, fills up,
And
and then you can
yeah.
explode your car.
Yeah.
After you explode it, you hold down A and steer your car into another
Oh,
direction,
okay. And and then you can explode again.
and you can explode again.
Oh, I kept figuring out. I was like, why can't I get these high scores? But it's because you're expected to go over and over, and I was going one time.
It's like Tetris. That's what I was watching.
Oh,
Yes, it's a puzzle. That's why I
that's
thought you would
brilliant.
love it.
What a great fuck me. Like, yeah, that is that went from my least favorite mode to my favorite mode after like a dozen tries where I was like, this is so you literally like as soon as it hits start, you tap A and your car is just like it's like one of those wind up cars that you keep pulling, and then you let go and it just takes off and
No, you gotta steer it.
you steered into the biggest crash you can cause. It's fucking hilarious.
Exactly.
Now that is the best mode in the game. It also, I gotta ask you, like, I don't know anything about cars. I don't know if you do. I don't know anything about cars.
Nothing.
Okay, so then it doesn't bother you that there's no car names or anything? Because like, I
Not
was
at all.
asking people, like, are any of these cars real cars? And everyone's
I
like,
was what
no,
I was watching your YouTube. You're like, "Are any of these cars real?" I'm like, "No, I
no,
don't that doesn't bother me at all."
no, me neither. Because I was wondering, I'm like, what car manufacturer would lend their name to this game? But I guess that explains why nobody fucking did because it's just accidents. It's hilarious.
The blue lights, the shortcuts,
Hmm.
they remind me a lot of, like, SSX Tricky. Did you ever play that?
No, that one has almost won our polls like a dozen times. I gotta play it,
Ah.
but I haven't. I haven't.
Okay, so basically, the shortcuts in the game, they're not necessarily an actual shortcut. You have to get recognized with the track. Like sometimes it is a shortcut. Sometimes it's just not.
They're tough. Yeah, they're tough, dude. I found that like this game, it expects you to put in your reps and get to know the tracks
Oh,
because it'll.
I've been playing this game for like 15 years.
Yeah, like with no knowledge of the map, it can be you get going fast, especially when you're boosting. And I found that I started avoiding the shortcuts. I love that they're labeled with those blue lights, but I was like, every time I go down one, I just end up fucking myself up more.
Yeah, also about the boost, when you are boosting, I think the computer also automatically boosts.
Yeah, I do too. Cheating bastards. Because you're not making up any fucking time sometimes. It's bullshit.
No.
It's bullshit. I do getting back to your point on the shortcuts though, like because this game is flying by. Like does a
Oh,
great
it's
job of at
so
least
fast.
yeah, it creates that illusion that you're just moving. And I those blue lights highlighting the shortcuts are brilliant because I don't know how you'd see them otherwise. Put those
Yeah,
blue lights in there.
one of the main reasons I decided to sponsor this game was your Star Wars Pod Racer.
Yeah, that
And
episode, yeah.
yeah, and you said, I feel like I'm going so fast in this game. And I was like, I think this is going to take it to the next level.
Yeah, this one was the same thing. Like it was, especially if you get on like a long stretch of highway where you can just
Oh,
open it
it's
up and boost.
so fast.
You're fucking moving, man. You're moving. Are there any modes that you like? Cause like, again, there's no story. I love that. Like the whole point of the game is to just cause as much mayhem as you can, earn enough like star rewards to move up to the next level. Are there any modes you don't like?
Um,
And it's not even like
yeah,
a dig at the game, but I'm curious because there's one I
no,
don't particularly like.
okay. Yeah, I don't like Grand Prix, honestly.
Really? Like where you just race after race after race?
Yeah.
Because there's not enough crashing?
No, I would go through like a whole Grand Prix, like 3 races in, and then
Right.
suddenly have a bad race,
Oh, and just be
and
fucked.
then I'd have to like hit restart,
Yeah, yeah.
and then everything is all over again.
I I mean, I'm not. I will say I didn't hate the Grand Prix mode, but I will say that like for a racing game, I genuinely don't feel the racing is its strongest point.
The crashing is the strongest point.
Yeah, like it's not that the racing sucks, but the racing's not like the crashing is much more fun than the actual racing part of the
Absolutely.
game. Yeah. All right. Well, because like there's also that mode where you have to like get like 3 takedowns, and then if you do it, it extends. It's like in a lot of games you have to get from checkpoint to checkpoint, and that you have to get 1 or 2, 3 takedowns. That was my least favorite because I fucking suck at getting
Okay.
takedowns. I suck
All
at
right.
it. I fucking suck
I
at it.
actually so you know when you see the arrows for a curve on the turn,
Yes. Yeah.
do you know about a pit maneuver
I have no idea what that means.
in
What
Canada?
those words mean.
Okay. All right. So basically, you want to hit the very like rear of the car as they're turning. That's where I get most of my wrecks in the game.
I kept trying to like T-bone them, thinking like just
Yes, no,
cause
that
them
doesn't work.
damage.
That doesn't
No, it
work.
doesn't. Fucking
No,
tell me
not at
about it.
all.
Fucking tell me about it. Okay, so like hit the tail end and like make them just like spin out type thing.
Basically hit the back end of their tires as they're going around those long curves.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to try that. Cause
I
I fucking I was like, why can't I make them crash? I'm like,
I know
I'm getting
I
crashed.
was watching a YouTube stream. I'm like, no, I wish I could chime in.
Fuck. God damn it. Okay, that's good to know. Like that, or I will say it's pretty satisfying. Like when you can like grind up against them and make them drive into a wall or something. That
Oh,
those are the
that's
ones
so
that turn me
so
on a lot.
satisfying. During your stream, when you hit traffic from behind, it won't make you crash. If you hit them head on, it will. If you hit a truck or a bus from behind, it will make you crash.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Because yeah, I was fucking fuck. I mean, I suck. It's the problem. I'm fucking
No,
terrible.
no, I wish I was there to tell you that.
Crashing all over the goddamn place. God damn
Um,
it.
and using the traffic, like if you crash into a car, you can make that like that crashed vehicle force it into another like an opponent,
Oh, so like
and and
you
that
use the
will
civilian car to crash the enemy car.
exactly, and then
Oh,
that will
okay.
help you during like the road rage.
Okay, that makes sense. It's fun. I'm not complaining. I just suck at it, but that
No,
makes sense. I
I
have a couple of
understand.
days to get good now before we fucking finish this recording. Is there anything you said you had notes? Like, is there anything I mean, the soundtrack slaps, fucking
Yeah,
slaps. I'm not allowed to use any of the music. I'll get in trouble. But the
no,
music is very, very good.
I did come across a couple like of the bands in the soundtrack. Like, oh, I kind of like this, and I
Sure.
became fans of them. The offline, it's not as good as it was when like online was available. Like,
Yeah,
could you?
I wanted to ask you about that because I didn't use any multiplayer online,
No,
and people were
I.
telling me the multiplayer's fire.
It was
Like, what did you do? Like,
like
was it just crashing into each other?
literally what you're doing. It was like that with everybody else online.
So the other cars were like actually driven by other players and stuff.
Yeah,
So how did you win?
it was just straight mayhem, man.
Like,
It
was
was
there a
so
way to
much
win, or
fun.
was it just you just went online and just drove into each other?
You drove into each other, but you also raced.
Oh, okay, so it was like a race mode. It wasn't just
Yeah,
crashing into each other. Okay.
yeah. It was just so much fun.
That would have been I bet you this game would have been huge online back in the day, actually.
Oh, it was fire.
Yeah, that would have been fucking and couch co-op. Could you play it couch? I bet you could. Split screen? I bet you would
I
have been
think you
pretty
could
good
do
too.
split screen. Yeah,
Yeah, it would have been fun. Oh my god, that would have led to some fights. Playing split screen, I
absolutely.
think. Yeah, that would have been fucking sick. I got it. Yeah, like I think it's brilliant in its simplicity. Like it doesn't need a story. It doesn't need. It knows what it does
It's
well, and it doesn't fill it
it's
with a lot of fat.
it's so much fun. I've followed a couple of the posts on your Patreon.
Yeah.
Paradise. I honestly don't think it's as good.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Some have said better. Some have said not quite as good. Like
I
you think? Have you
I
played all
don't
the
think.
Burnout games?
Yeah, pretty
Or
much.
yeah, and would you say that Revenge is the best?
I would say Burnout 3 Takedown is the absolute best.
Why? What does it do better?
It just feels more arcadey. Paradise is like open world almost. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to try. Like I know some people were like saying that like Revenge was a little too basic, but I was like, I honestly think that's the thing I like about it the most. Is I was like, you can just hop in and play in like 30 seconds. I don't have to deal with
Dude, this
anything.
like I'll have like okay, so after like a long week of work, I'll sit down, I'll have a drink, I'll be playing like Call of Duty or something. I'm like, all right, I'm done with first person shooters. I'm gonna jump into a game I like. Log into Burnout Revenge. I
Yeah.
don't care. It's so
Yeah.
much fun.
Like I've been sick as fuck over the last few days, and there's been a couple of sessions where I've just sat down and played a little bit of Burnout Revenge, and I'm like, I love how I don't even have to be able to like coherently think. I'm literally just driving around crashing into shit.
No, it's push
I,
A.
yeah,
Drive the
yeah,
car.
exactly. Like there's like it's like fucking drive and boost, and that is it. I don't have to worry about upgrading my car or fucking anything, and I like
Nah,
that a
screw
lot.
that. It's a
Yeah.
fun game.
It is. It's at the end of the day, it's what it is. It's a fun video game, and that's what matters to me the most. Is that it was a fun game to play. Like you
I'm
guys are
glad
slowly
you
winning me
enjoyed it.
over. Yeah. Oh, I very much did. I wasn't sure what to expect because I really like Need for. Okay, we gotta wrap this thing up. We gotta get the
All
ball
right.
moving here. But I wanted to say so. Like the only other one I really played is Need for Speed Most Wanted, which I also really liked. And I'm honestly I'm not trying to be a fence sitter, but I'm officially putting the poll up my ass. I can't decide which one I like better because I do like that Most Wanted had like a little bit of a story mode, but I think I enjoyed the gameplay of Revenge a little better. You're leaning Burnout, I assume.
I'm straight up burnt out just
Yeah,
because you can crash the cars.
yeah, yeah. Like, have you played the Need for Speeds and stuff?
I
Like, do you play
have,
other games?
I have, I've tried a
Yeah,
couple other arcade racers. I just love this one so much because yeah, you can like. I hope you can get into like crashing the cars better.
yeah.
If
I'm already getting better than I was on my streams. I promise. Like, I am slowly getting better at this fucking game.
the feeling of just clipping the tail end of your car into your opponent in the slow motion, it's
Yeah, yeah.
so satisfying.
It's dude, it never gets old. Watching those crashes in slow mo is like I'm a 40-year-old man and I'm just sitting here laughing like a little kid
The
watching these
slow
cars
mo
crash into
never
each other. It's
gets
fucking
old.
hilarious. It never gets old. It's fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. It shouldn't be as funny as it is, but it is. Fuck them.
Oh,
Let the
it's
cars
so
crash.
good. It's such a
Um,
mindlessly fun game.
it is. Yeah. And you know what? And it's nice. In an era where every game is so complicated, it's nice to play something that's just shut off your brain and just have some fun. You know, it's not a lot not of games are like that anymore.
And it still looks good too.
The whole looks fucking great. Um, so you said you had an idea for a scoring system, yeah?
I did. Apparently 89 cars are unlockable.
All right. That's a fucking sound scale right there. Then all right, I'm gonna keep my score to myself because I still have to play for a couple more days and decide how bad
Yeah.
I am at it.
All right.
But the floor is yours, my friend.
I'm
What score would you give this out of 89?
I would give this a solid 85. It's not perfect, but it's a stupidly fun game.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 is fun wise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like
it
there's
really
no
is.
story, but whatever.
No, yeah, I honestly feel like a story would just get in the like it worked. It worked in Most Wanted for sure, but like this game, I think a story would just get in the way. It's not necessary.
This is like one that you'd go to like an arcade to play and just go
Yeah,
back over and over again.
totally. Yeah, I like it.
It's
89 cars, 85. Fuck, that's a good fucking score. Um, buddy, listen, this has been a good time. I appreciate so much your patience because I know this took a long time to happen, and thank you
no
for turning
worries.
me on to Burnout Revenge because it's rad. This is where I always like to let my guests plug their shit. If you got anything you want to tell people about,
It's been a while, but I have a YouTube channel called Operation Pixel. Me and a buddy just play retro games and just kind of have fun. It's been a while since it's been updated, but
there's nothing wrong with that. Those are my
yeah.
favorite plugs. Are the people that are like, I have a channel, I haven't used it in a while, but I have this. Those are my favorite plugs by 100 miles. So, Operation Pixel. But send me the link, and I'll make sure I put it in the description of this podcast for anyone who wants to come by and check it out.
Copy that.
Killer, buddy. Listen, again, thank you for your patience, dude, and thank you so much for getting me to play this fucking game. I can't wait to talk more about this. Burnout Revenge is awesome. I'm a racing guy now. I'm a racing guy. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so joining me via the blank phone this week, another person. I already talked to Ark about this game. He sponsored the episode, but I have to bring on one of my buddies to also ramble about the games we played back in the day. And joining me via the blank phone this week to ramble about said game that he played back in the day is my buddy Joe, who you may remember from the Need for Speed Most Wanted episode. Joe, you are quickly getting typecast as the crash and bash racing guy. How does that make you feel?
Well, it pretty much sums up my poker strategy, so I am fine with that.
Yeah, no shit. It's funny too, because you're like the most chill, nice guy I think I know. But then it's like at poker, you're a fucking you are aggressive is an understatement, and it seems to be that the games you play. It's funny because you know your cars. Like I assumed you'd be like a Gran Turismo. Do you like Gran Turismo?
I haven't played one in years, and I just, when it comes to the true simulation, it just doesn't do it for me.
Why is that?
Because I'd rather see that in person. Like, I mean, I'm an F1 fan. I love F1 racing. So I could talk F1 for hours and hours and hours, but I don't care if you're doing it on the TV screen. I want to see that in real life. If you're doing a resto mod on a car, you're doing a great job with a Camaro, building an engine, I want to see that. I don't care for it on the video screen.
That's interesting because it's funny. I'm not that into those really hardcore racing games. And I always assumed the reason that I wasn't into them is because I don't know anything about cars. And I was like, maybe if I knew things about cars, this would be a lot more fun. I'd be like, oh, yeah, we got to get the best alloy plugs for the battery gape. But, like, I don't know any of this shit. But you know all these things about cars, and you're like, I'll do it in real life. That's fascinating to me.
But, like, I mean, it's funny because even, like, I mean, Dusty Nielsen and, like, Gager, I mean, they talk about playing F1 on their Xbox or PlayStation or whatever, right? And I just can't get into it. I get the appeal of it all. It's just not, I don't know, it's just not for me. I don't like tweaking everything to that extent. I would just much rather watch it and, give me a 2-hour YouTube video on what they're doing in the garage.
Sure.
Versus trying to do it on a video game.
Fascinating. For the record, like, I'm not anti those real racing games either. They're just not. Not my thing. But I'm not. It's not. It's a code. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that. But anyways, now that said, so maybe that explains why you're so into games like this and Need for Speed Most Wanted, because this takes the cars you love so much and lets you do the things you're not allowed to or can't do in real life. Because this, I will say, bro, Need for Speed Most Wanted was a good fucking time. So was this. This was like. I don't. It looks so realistic until you start playing it, and then you're like, There's nothing real about this at all. This is the most asinine driving game I think I've ever played, and I love it. I love this fucking game. It's so much fun.
But you're also not going to take something as expensive as your house and do what you're doing in this game.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. 100%. And it's funny because that was one of the things when I was playing Burnout Revenge to get ready for this. This is my only experience with Burnout so far. It won't be my last, I promise. It was my only experience so far. At one point, I asked some of the people that were watching me, I was like, are these real cars? Because I don't know the names of any real cars. And everyone's like, no. And which makes sense because why would like Ford, for example, why the fuck would they put their name on the, like, why would you want your cars in this game? That's just designed around mayhem and anarchy.
No, exactly. And yeah, I understand why they don't have the licenses to put the, a Ford Mustang or a Focus or a Dodge. I get why you're not doing that in this game because it is just about destruction. And I mean, to some extent, let's face it, some of these crashes realistically would, kill people.
Oh my God, dude. These crashes are fucking catastrophic. But that's like okay. I'm sorry to keep going back to it. It's just I'm so excited to like talk to someone that knows like how a car is working and stuff. Like, does it take away from the game to you at all that there's not real cars in it? Like, does that even matter?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Because I will say that like if it was if it's a wrestling game, like I've played some really fun wrestling games, but if they're not actual wrestlers, I do feel like it takes just like a little bit of the sizzle off,
Okay, I'm actually with you on that though.
But for cars, it doesn't
really
matter.
Weird. For cars, it really doesn't matter because the whole thing is, when you're looking at like Burnout Revenge, and I'm looking at the box art of the cars or of the game right now.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and there's clearly a Saab, clearly a Mazda. Like they are modeled after real world vehicles, though. Like 100% real world vehicles.
Okay.
So like you can justify what they are. Even without them actually flat out saying it.
Okay, and I was going to ask you that. Like, they're based on real cars, right? That makes more sense to me.
Oh,
okay,
100% there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now that we've squared all that away, I'm a little nervous about this episode because I know, bro. I gotta say, I know now. I had no idea that this franchise in this game was as popular as it is. Like, I had no fucking idea until people started coming out of the woodworks. Now, I have played this for the last like 2 weeks. You said that you were playing this back when like it was hot and new, yeah?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Favorite?
I haven't touched it since. I actually tried to look for it and I couldn't actually find a way to replay it. So.
Oh, that's you have a good memory. You're gonna be fine. You're smart. You're gonna be good.
Well, thanks for overselling me.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I was like, I'm totally just gonna paint this picture now. Okay, well then let me ask you then. Like, so have you played this back in the day? Have you played any other Burnouts, or is it just this one?
I have played Burnout Paradise, which I don't know if that was the latest one, but I definitely have played Burnout since.
Okay. And then obviously you've played Need for Speed. Would you? Yep. What's your favorite of these arcadey games? I guess that's where I'm trying to get. I was gonna like start playing, compare them, but like fuck, I don't even know the other ones. Is this like what's your favorite?
It's tough. I like Need for Speed because you've got real cars in it, which is kind of a nice little thing, but it's not as crash heavy as Burnout, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of the trade-off there. If I want to play an arcadey racing game, I will go to Need for Speed. If I want to just, burn the world down, I like Burnout.
Yeah. See, and that's because, like, since I brought up that we were going to talk about this game, I've had people be like, oh, you should play a different Burnout, or Need for Speed is better, or like vice versa. And in my very limited experience with these games, I agree with you. I'm like, if I wanted to just go and like race, then I'll go to Need for Speed Most Wanted. Like, it's funny. I was saying to Ark when I was talking to him, this is a racing game, and I genuinely feel like the racing is maybe the weakest part of this game. Like
100% it is.
Right? And is that not weird? Like, it's a racing game. But
we might be in the minority saying that, but it's true. But if we talk like wrestling, like if we want, we're talking WWE 2K23 versus Fire Pro Wrestling.
Right.
It's two completely different games.
No question. It's just so it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe people that like play a lot of these games are like, you're an idiot. Move on. But I just find it hilarious that it's just like a racing game. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really care about the racing. I just want to go and crash shit. But the crashing is so fun.
That's what I do with Burnout. That's why Burnout's great.
Exactly. It's what makes it awesome. So if you've never played it, I mean, I'm assuming you've gotten the lay of the land by now, but like, I love, Joe, like when I fired this up, like there's no story. There's no story. There's no cutscenes. There's no telling you who you are or why you're doing this. It's just pick this fictional car that apparently very closely resembles a real car and just pick a challenge and just go. And I'm a story guy in a lot of games. I like a good story, but I gotta say, I found it very refreshing that I could just fire this game up and within 45 seconds, I'm fucking crashing into stuff. No rhyme or reason, doesn't matter. You don't even have to go into like the garage and like you can upgrade your suspension and make your car faster or anything. You can blow your car up, and then after like 5 seconds, your car is back on the road again. It's brilliant.
Exactly.
I love it. I got us like you play games today. I frankly think there's a bit of a lack of games like this today. Where like there's no story, there's nothing. It's just a focus on like making something that is fun to play. I don't think there's enough of that today.
100%. And I know we were just kind of talking about it before, but like Cult of the Lamb, as brilliant as it is, the story doesn't, as much as it progresses the gameplay, it's the gameplay that matters.
Yeah, always.
Like I could care two shits about the story.
Yeah, like. I like it, you know.
I just like the game.
Yeah, I mean, a good story is great, but I agree with you, dude. I've said that a billion times on this show, and I'll die on this hill that, like, nice graphics are awesome, which, by the way, this game has. This game fucking looks really good. Like,
for the era, absolutely.
Oh my god, dude, I was playing it 2023, and I was like, holy fuck, this holds up today. Like, I was playing the 360 version, but nevertheless, it looked really good. Graphics are great, good audio is great, a nice story is good, you know, great voice acting, all that shit is awesome. But like at the end of the day, make your game fun first, and then nothing else matters. My favorite game is Tetris. And Tetris is just like nothing. It's just fun. That's all that matters. And I gotta say, like, I gotta track down more of these games now because I actually really enjoyed that. I could walk away from this game for like a week and then come back, and I don't have to remember what was going on in the story or what my next quest is. It literally is just I mean, they try to make it look nice in the menus, but it's basically just like a bulletin board of challenges. Pick one and go see how much damage you can do, and then do it again. Like,
yeah, exactly. I think that was the brilliance of this. Was like they had their events, right? I mean, you had to select a couple, or you had the choice of a couple events and per level. Like you had no story to do it. It was just do this, do A, B, and C.
Yeah,
do A, B, and C, and it was great for that.
Yeah, and it was so clean. Like, so when you start the quote unquote story mode, I think that's what they call it, is the story mode, even though there's literally no story at all. You just go to like the first level, and basically every area has a couple of these like optional things, like a takedown list and something else, and they're basically like optional bonus objectives, like try to get a takedown, and which, if you haven't played it, a takedown is crash a car in all these different ways. But then it's basically just a menu of challenges, and they're broken into like different kinds of hits. Like some of them are actual races, some of them are crash as many cars as you can, some of them are to cause as much damage as you can, etc. We'll get into some of those modes in a minute. And you just play through it, and most of them only take a couple of minutes tops. Some of them take like 30 seconds. And then you get like a score, and you get stars based on your score. Once you accumulate enough stars, you unlock the next rank in the game, which unlocks more areas to go into. Rinse and repeat until you've unlocked everything in the game. And I love it. I fucking love it. I love this fucking game. I'm so impressed with this fucking game.
Well, and that was the beauty. And I mean, maybe this was part of, a game at the time, though. But I mean, we've talked about Tetris 99 multiple times. We've talked about F-Zero 99. We've talked about these games that you can do in bite-sized chunks.
Yeah.
And you're not losing anything.
Yeah, totally.
And that was one of the beauty of this. You could do, like you said, you just did it. You could go in and do a 30-second race or a 2-minute race, come back a week later and you're not forgetting anything. You're not losing any progress. You don't have a clue where you are. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can get right back into it.
And what I really, really did like is I fucking like it's not a deal breaker for me because I play enough video games where it's part of the game, so it's not the end of the world to me. But like I fucking hate like when you're in an RPG and you get to a village and you have to fucking go to shops and get all the new equipment for your team and outfit everybody and offload all your other shit. And in any game, like even in Need for Speed Most Wanted, like between race, I'm sorry I keep comparing it to that. It's literally the only other racing game I've played. That's not a kart racer, so it's all I'm trying on experience here. But like between races, you have money and then you go and spend that money and get like a better engine or better turbo or fucking whatever. Like I hate doing that stuff. I know it's part of games, but I hate doing it. I love that like that's not even like literally the only choice you have to make outside of what level you want to play is you get to pick from your car. And most of the cars, like the differences are outside of how it looks is like they might have a different crash breaker thing where you can make them explode better or that kind of stuff. But there's nothing like this is, I feel like that, like I wish I'd played this game when I was a kid, frankly. Like I mean, we're both old now. You know, I was an adult when this game came out. But like I know a lot of our listeners have written in talking about how they play this as kids with their parents and stuff like that. Like, bro, if I had this back when I was like 9, 10, 11 years old, I would have played this game for months and just fucking like I would have been calling my dad in and being like, come look at this replay, because that's the other thing is you can replay everything you do.
Yes, which was brilliant.
Yeah, it might not seem like a big deal now, but that was a big deal 20 years ago or whatever the fuck when this came out. And so you have this like big crash, especially if you're sitting around with your friends or like you said, your dad or your mom or whatever. And like you cause this big crash and you're like, everybody watch this. And you bring them all around and it's so it feels like playing with toy cars, but in a video game.
I'm pretty sure both our dads would have had the exact same response to, hey, come look at this.
You know what though? I feel like this, I think if my dad, if I tried to show him this, my dad's a gearhead. I think my dad would have been proud. He would have been like, hey, that's my boy playing a racing game. Look at this. Instead, I was like, Dad, I beat Koopa and saved the princess again. And he's like, yeah, good for you, son. Fuck me.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he would have been like if I was playing NHL, at least he would come by and be like, oh, Habs suck in this game, huh? Fucking Leafs fan. But like if I had played a racing game, I think he would have at least been like, hey, that's a start. That's better than nothing. But that's the thing is like so much of the game is around just trying to cause as much anarchy as possible and then being able to watch it on those replays. And I'm sure back in the day there was a ton of like cutting out replays and saving them and uploading them to like Xbox Live and shit like that. And I didn't do
I'm sure there was. Absolutely.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay, so let's get into like some of the modes a little bit. Do you, and I know I'm pulling at your memory here, but like, do you have a mode that you remember liking the most? Because there's really only one that I don't like, and I've come around on it in the last couple of days.
So and I know this kind of goes back to like, I mean, Burnout 3 Takedown was probably the one that I played the most.
I keep hearing from people that that's the best one.
But the biggest thing with that is it's literally the crash mode.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, the crash events. I mean, just causing as much damage, as much mayhem, unfortunately killing as many virtual people as you possibly can.
Yeah.
was always the biggest thing. Because, like, I mean, I can even remember, you know, nights, I don't want to say after the bar because we were underage. But, you know, going back and you would just replay the same, I'm launching into this intersection, I'm launching over this whatever, just to blow up as many cars, cause as much damage as you can. And I mean, like, you know, even if we had a couch co-op going on, we wouldn't do much of the other modes. It was, let's just wreck shit.
Yeah,
so the crash event is the one that hits home for me.
It's funny because when I started playing this, I was like, this mode is fucking dumb. And then all of a sudden it clicked and I was like, this is the best mode in the game. This should be the whole game. If you've never played it, these crash events are literally just like this camera goes like down a highway or a road or whatever and shows you what's coming up. Sometimes there's like buses, there's semis like parked across lanes of traffic or stuck in traffic or whatever. And then it comes back to your car and your car just takes off like a fucking... I was saying to Ark, it's like one of those wind-up dinky cars that you'd like pull backwards on the ground a bunch and then let go and it just takes off. That's what your car does. And you just have to steer it and cause as much problems as you can until you crash to where you can't drive anymore, and then cars just start piling up. And as your meter fills up, eventually you can blow your car up and like slowly drive it out into more traffic, which thank you to Ark for explaining that to me because I didn't understand it. And then you can cause even more pileups, and it's just keeping a running tally of the dollar value of how much damage you've caused. And you play this mode in like a minute, and it is, I don't know what is our obsession as a species with car crashes. Why are they so fun to watch? I don't know, but they are. And this mode sums it up perfectly.
Okay, not to get super deep or sad here, but it's because we as a species are self-destructive.
No question about that. We're a fucking
But
shit
I mean,
show.
Exactly, and that's why we like this. We like car crashes. We like train wrecks. That is why Call of Duty is so goddamn big.
I guess so. Yeah, maybe you're right. Because I just like, that literally is the whole mode. And Joe's right. It is the best mode in the game. And the best part is that like, you can launch your car, and then if say you miss like what you were going for or something, you can restart it like that. You can restart it like that. Even when you don't restart it, that mode takes like a minute each. How that's not a mobile game now? Like Burnout Mobile, where, I mean, I'm sure with knowing EA, it would, like, I don't want that because EA would fuck us hard. But like, the idea that you could just play it on your phone and just crash cars into each other and just cause these, dude, the pileups you can cause in that crash mode are fucking outstanding. They're hilarious.
I'd pay $20 for that if that was mobile.
Right? Me too. That would be so much fun. And then like, you're like sitting on the toilet or laying in bed and you can't sleep. Go crash them fucking cars. Crash mode is the best one. And I was reading about it because you were saying like you don't have a ton of experience with multiplayer. I didn't play any multiplayer. People were recommending it to me. I'm sorry, I don't have any friends, and Shayla didn't want to play with me. But I had a blast with that crash mode by myself. If you were sitting around with 3 or 4 of your friends or whatever, and like just drinking or smoking pot and just crashing these cars and fucking laughing, oh my god, dude.
Oh man.
The rest of the game isn't even necessary. It's so much fun. That's the best mode.
You literally could release just a crash mode as like a $30-$40 game and people would buy it
easily, especially if you could play it online. Oh my god.
I was
thinking while I was playing this, like, imagine like a demolition derby game with like this engine in it and like those graphics, and you could play online like a battle royale, like a 99-person like demolition derby, and you just crash cars into each other. Like, it'd be so much. That crash mode is fucking sick. It is the funnest mode of the fucking game. I love it. I love that.
I'd be
mode.
so in for that.
Other than that, the other mode that the only mode so when I was talking to Ark a couple of days ago, the one mode I said I didn't like very much was I can't remember what it was actually called, but basically where you had to take down as many, like, it would say like, to get a gold medal you have to take down like say 12 cars, like crash 12 enemy cars, but you have to crash 3 in the first like minute to extend your time. Just like in most racing games, they have to get to like the check mark before your time runs out, and then it extends your time. And I was really struggling. What's that?
Road rage.
Yes. Thank you.
Road rage mode. Yep.
And I really struggled with that mode for a long time because I wasn't very good at taking down other cars until Ark was teaching me that, like, and I actually think this is one of the coolest things in the game, and apparently this was kind of new, was if you drive into the back of another car, whether it's just like a civilian car or one of your, like, you can drive into the back of other cars, and then it's like playing pool, and then they go flying. I just punched my microphone because I'm using my hands, and then they go flying, and then they hit the other cars, and they cause more takedowns and stuff, and that mode became a lot easier for me to understand once I learned. I thought like the only way to do it was to like T-bone people, and I kept crashing myself.
That actually, the whole traffic checking is what they called it in Revenge. It was actually introduced in this game.
Oh, okay. So that's new then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was new to just Burnout Revenge, and it's actually the only game.
Oh, is that right?
That did it to this level. Yeah.
Huh. What'd you think of that? Because like I think it's neat, but like, listen, it's so satisfying. I found the most satisfying takedowns were when you were coming, like, because this game fucking moves. We'll get into this game is fucking fast, and you're flying down the road, and then say there's like a wall sticking out of the side, and if you push an opponent into that wall and they just go head on, like wham, like a crushed soda can.
Are the best.
Those are my most satisfying ones, but they're hard to come by. What do you think of like the sheer reliance of takedowns? Because like I thought they were fun, but I found the like causing crashes myself more fun than the takedown thing.
No, I agree with you on that. I mean, because I know even in like some of the Need for Speed games, and especially when you're dealing like the Rivals games, and even like when it was cops versus you guys, right?
Yeah.
You know, you had that level where you could push them into stuff. You could do. It's tough because hitting the guy from behind. I mean, you're not going to take them out. Is the biggest problem.
Totally. That's
So.
yeah, like I did start to enjoy it more once I got better at it, but I did find like it was just, I don't know, it's not that it was bad. I'm honestly curious, like, is there anyone out there that enjoyed doing that more than those crash events? Where it was like, instead of trying to crash the other cars, crash your car into those cars and then just make the biggest explosion possible? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just didn't seem as fun after playing the crash events.
No, and you know what? If somebody does enjoy those more, you can't trust them.
No, you can't. Fucking
Just like people
weirdos
that have two first names.
Yeah, fucking weirdos. And we have some of those. I know there's some
we do.
of
KP5947.
yeah. And now we're sneaking it from Sneak. This is on the show. Oh my God. Okay, listen, here's what we're going to do. I'm still getting my voice back. So we're going to pause. I'm going to drink some water. When we get back, I want to get into a couple more of the modes, and I really want to get into the graphics and the soundtrack and stuff. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back here. Okay, so other than the crash events, which are the funnest ones, and then the road rage thing where we have to do the takedowns, there's a lot of, like, there's actually some racing game, like, where you have to do, like, the Grand Prix, and you actually have to race and stuff like that. And I'm interested in what you think, because you have more experience with this genre than me. I actually thought, like, the racing was fine, because the cars move in this game, but I really didn't, it almost felt like the even from, like, a development standpoint, I felt like the racing took a bit of a back seat to the focusing on making crashes and stuff like that. Like, I don't think the racing is any, like, the AI, all that. I don't think it's anything to write home about in this game.
No, you're right. It definitely isn't. But I mean, I looked at, if you want to talk about the graphic side of it, though, like, they hit the graphics. They did. They hit the graphics perfectly for what it was.
Oh,
I mean, when you were looking at, if you were looking at a 360 view, everything was crisp. Everything was concise. Like, they did such a good job with the graphics on it. Like, you said a race, at the very beginning. Racing was kind of the last thing they looked at. It was the smallest piece of the pie.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, racing's
To
gotten
be
a lot
blatantly
bigger.
honest, it was.
Yep. Yeah, no question. Yeah, the racing in this game is just, it's whatever. You're right. I feel like once they got figured out, like, the crash mechanics and stuff, they put everything else they had left into the graphics. And again, like, what'd you play this on when you were playing it back in the day?
It was PlayStation. It was what, PS2, I think
PS2.
it was.
Okay. I played the, like, Xbox 360 version, which I guess was like an HD version of it. But I've been watching footage of the PS2 and original Xbox versions, and I gotta say, man, there are not a lot of games from the Xbox PS2 era that have aged as well graphically as I'm shocked that some of these racing games have aged as well as they have. And I don't know if it's because you kind of can take your foot off the gas, no pun intended, when it comes to the textures of the sides and shit like that, because they're all blowing by you so quickly, and that blur mechanic makes them feel like they're going even faster. But I was legitimately a little bit blown away at how good this game looks in 2023. Like, it looks fucking sharp.
But I think we had the same discussion with Need for Speed, though.
I think so.
It was the same thing. We don't need to worry about the continuous graphics. We need to look at it when it's still. The graphics look amazing. When we're going fast, we don't care what they look like on the side.
Yeah, they kind of, I don't know what the technical term for it is, but it's almost like it's like they blur it. Maybe that is the technical term. And it's almost like they like, this is a Simpsons poll. I don't know if anyone's going to get this, but it's almost like they put like Vaseline on the lens. And like the only thing that's totally focused is your car, and everything else is just kind of like blurry, but it works. Because not only do you not have to worry about like super detailing it and it looks good as it's flying by, but I really think that blurry feeling gives you more of a sense of speed when you're driving.
100% it does.
And because that was the other thing I noticed about this game was like, I don't know if I'm actually going that fast, but this game does a very, very good job of making it feel like you are going ridiculously fast. Like Fuck.
Absolutely it does.
Holy fuck. I was bitching when I started playing it that there's no maps on the screen because I was like, some of these turns come up so fast that I don't even know where the fuck I'm supposed to turn. Like, it's so fast. And when you're going down, I don't know about you, but like, I thought the coolest part of the game was when you were ripping down like the back alleys. And
Man.
And it was like super squishy and narrow. And it felt like just like I'm like, I know it's a video game and I'm sitting here with my ass just fucking clenched. I'm like, oh my God, like one bad turn and I'm fucked right now. And it was awesome. Kind of turns me on a bit because I drive like an old lady. So it's nice to drive like a good, like
if
person.
you've ever gone any sort of speed in an area that you shouldn't be doing,
Yeah.
that's what you get though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you are going, if you're going, 250 kilometers an hour on Highway 2, going down to Calgary, your ass is clenched.
Yeah. And for
it's scary as shit.
And it's funny.
That.
It's funny because I knew at some point kilometers were going to come up, and I know a lot of my listeners are in the U.S. and they're like, what's a kilometer? And I'm like, oh, that's the length of 78,000 beavers. I don't know. I don't know.
If you're doing if you're doing 150 miles an hour, yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. It's scary as shit.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. If you're going 940 trillion beavers a decimal, it's fucking crazy out there. So, no, it does a good job of making it feel fast. And I also, I don't know about yourself, I actually I loved going down the alleys because it was so tight and it was, claustrophobic and tense. But by and large, I actually preferred the tracks that were kind of out like the highway and like you could take the shortcuts through the woods and stuff. I actually like those tracks as a whole better than the ones where it felt like you were racing through like downtown. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but like they both look nice, but I definitely like the other ones better.
That's fair. I mean, even like I hate to bring it up again, but like going back to Need for Speed, same thing though. Like I preferred the open highways. I preferred the, when you're ripping through the woods or going through a quick trail somewhere as opposed to being in town. And that might just have to do with the fact knowing that if you hit a wall in an alley, you're dead.
Yeah.
Versus.
Yeah. If you hit a tree, you're fucking no. But you're right. Go ahead.
No, that's all I was saying. Like, yeah, like I mean, if you're driving through a field, like you could hit a bush and you could roll, you could like spin your car, but you're not going to end up anywhere if you're in the middle of a farmer's field. You're going to be fine. Also,
like, and maybe this was just in my head, I felt like the tracks that were more out like in the woods or like on the highway and stuff like out of like downtown, they just felt like they had more shortcuts with like those blue the lights, the blue poles, like letting you know there was like a shortcut. Like I don't know what you meant. Like there were some races where I felt like I spent the whole race in those, and I was like, I have no fucking idea where I am right now. But until the computer tells me I'm going the wrong way, I'm just gonna keep going. I have no.
Oh, absolutely.
Clue. Yeah, but some of them it's wild. Like. I was kind of shocked.
But I think that has to do with.
What's that?
Sorry, I was always going to say this. I think that just has to do with the arcadey aspect of it.
Yeah. No, agreed.
It wasn't trying to be simulation-y. It was going to be arcadey, and that's kind of where the shortcuts and everything else kind of played into the game's brilliance. Right?
Totally. And I found the shortcuts were like more fun. I was like, it's two roads and a path, and I take the one with the blue lights on it, or whatever the fuck the old saying is. I like going.
I think that. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think I nailed it. Game looks good. The crashes are fucking awesome. I like the lack of customization. I like the lack of a story. That's all great. I will ask you, like, were there any modes? So when I talked to Ark, he said, ironically, because it's a racing game, the mode he liked the least was the Grand Prix mode. Was there any modes you didn't like?
Grand Prix.
Like, basically just having to do, like, 4 or 5 races in a row and adding up all your points. And I liked those. But then the more I played it, the more I was like, yeah, you're right. This is kind of... Because, again, the racing is just kind of the weakest part of the game. And that's just like 4 or 5 races in a row.
All right, this will be an interesting take. But if I want to do that, I'd rather play Mario Kart.
Yeah. No, I agree. I kind of agree. I kind of agree with you.
Like, I love the fact that this game has the crashes. I love the fact there's so many multiple modes in this game. And I'm not going to call the crashes and the vehicle damage realistic, because it really isn't.
Of course not.
In any capacity. But I don't want realistic. I don't want that in this.
Yeah.
This game, like, you know, you've built 3. Well, this is to be the 4th game in the series. You want the crashes. You want the damage. That's what you're here for.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get you're doing the Grand Prix so that you can actually, as you say, put, you know, meat on the bone. But
yeah, no,
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense otherwise, though.
No, and it's funny, like, for anyone wondering, because you're listening to my conversation with Joe back to back with my conversation with Ark. Ark and I talked 3 days ago, and he gave me some tips, and I went back to the game and kept playing it. And I went from the Grand Prix being like, I was like, I like this mode because I like racing and you're going fast and stuff, to being like, exactly what you said. I'm like, the racing's been done better. I just want to crash into stuff. Like it really did become the weakest part of the game, which is wild. But I don't know. It's you know, Burnout. The thing about it though is please correct me if I'm wrong. Like there's especially in this area, like there was a lot of racing games out, and it was like, do something different. They all race. Give me something to stand out. You know what I mean? And like the crash modes and shit are what make this stand. Otherwise, like this is just another racer. Am I wrong? Like
100%.
That like it's, and we've done, and like you said, then I'll go fucking play Mario Kart. Which
well,
I know.
I mean, you've got Mario Kart. You know, you've got Gran Turismo. You've got Need for Speed. You've got, you know, obviously Burnout in this, you know, in the category here too. But
sure.
Like one of the other games that there are rally race games too that did the off-road racing and the crashing well.
Yeah.
That I don't need this game to be that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually a little bit like, I went from like, fuck yeah, Grand Prix, to every time a Grand Prix came up, I was like, ugh. Which, by the way, another plus on this game, unless you're going to 100% it, you can just completely skip some events if you don't want to play them. As long as you've earned enough
100%.
stars. Yeah. So if you don't want to play the Grand Prix, just skip them. As long as you've got enough stars to unlock the next tier and the next tier and the next tier, which you can get pretty easily, then you don't have to play the fucking Grand Prix. And it just seems so funny to me that it's like, oh, it's a great racing game as long as you don't have to race. But it's kind of but even some of the other races, like there's the one where every lap the car in last gets eliminated and stuff like that. None of those, I didn't find any of those as I think it's just because the Grand Prix is 3 or 4 or 5 races in a row. You know what I mean? It was like one is a nice palate cleanser before I go back to crashing again. But when it's 3 or 4, I'm like, all right, I've had enough of this. I just want to go back to the mayhem. I don't know if you're going to remember it because you haven't played this game in a while, and I'm not allowed to play the music on the episode or I'll get in a lot of trouble. But I got to tell you, buddy, this is an era where like let's like sports games, Tony Hawk, like so many games had great soundtracks back in this era. This game's got a fucking banger of a soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up because I honestly don't remember it.
That's fair. I don't know about you. Like I have games where like I'm a huge Bowling for Soup fan, and I discovered Bowling for Soup. I discovered them because of Punk Rock 101 being on an NHL soundtrack like a long time ago. And
I know you and I talked about that with Need for Speed too.
Yeah. Oh, buddy. And the thing about it is a game like this, like in my opinion, like NHL, like sports games, it's great when you have music in the menu. But like when you're actually playing the game, it's like there's no music. You know what I mean? Like you're playing Madden, you're playing NHL or whatever. Then you're focusing on the game. Games like Tony Hawk, games like this, and Need for like racing games. This is where the music just throughout the game makes such a difference. It gets you so amped up when you're flying down one of these fucking roads, and then you hit the boost. Which another thing I love about this game is how simple the controls are. It's basically accelerate, brake, and boost, and you're good. You know, like I love that. And you hit the boost, and so your car's just fucking flying. And then like some banging song comes on the soundtrack, which you can change while you're playing just with the buttons. You can scroll through the songs. Games like this need fucking awesome soundtracks, quite frankly, to not to carry them, but to like it's the whipped cream on the pie. That's a good analogy.
Okay, I'm just gonna mention a couple of them right now because I just looked it up.
Yeah.
Avenged Sevenfold,
Yep.
Beast in the Heartless.
Yeah.
Billy Talent, Red Flag. CKY, As the Tables Turn. Goldfinger, I Want. Like MXPX, heard that sound.
Oh,
Yellow
God.
Card, Lights and Sound. Like, this is
I don't remember the last time I thought of MXPX until I started playing this fucking game. No offense to them, but
they're on my playlist.
Is that right?
Like you would know that.
Yeah, I gotta get some of them on my playlist. Yeah, dude, I'm not even. I really don't even know how much to credit developers for a great soundtrack when the soundtrack is all made up of actual songs. Because it's like you really just went to your CD binder, which is probably what they did back in this era, and flipped through and picked out like your best CD. You know what I mean? Like you didn't write the songs, but it doesn't mean
they just flipped it off their visor and picked whatever CDs they had.
Exactly. Like it's like, you know, when you play, I'm trying to think of a game that's got like a great original. Sea of Stars. We both just played Sea of Stars. Great music. The game's got great music,
dude.
But like,
yeah,
someone made that music for the game. Games like this and Tony Hawk, I'm not denying the great soundtracks, but it's like you didn't get a great game music composer to make the music. You just went to your iPod and got some songs off of it. You know what I mean? But it doesn't take away that the soundtrack fucking slaps. I'm just saying it's a different kind of slap. That's all.
100%. But it's so different. If you and I were to make a game right now, we would do the same thing and just go to our Spotify playlist.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. And then we'd get fucking sued into oblivion. But that's why you're not, for all of you that are like, oh man, I hope he's got the Burnout music. I do not. Just a couple of generic tracks from like the menus, because I don't think I'm allowed to use anything else. But I will say, when you're done listening to this episode, fire up whatever your music service of choice is and look up the soundtrack to this game, because there's some fucking bangers in here.
Yeah, there definitely are.
And I think, the graphics are great. The controls, well. The crashes are the highlight of the game. The soundtrack is good. I like that there's no story. Can you think of anything we didn't play? Like, I'm sure I'm going to get messages from people being like, oh, you forgot to mention my favorite mode. But I can't think of anything else to really bring up. It was just a really fun, simple game.
No, I mean, like, unless we start talking about locations, which are obviously fake locations everywhere.
Of course, yeah.
And I mean, we covered the events we talked about. I mean, like, we talked about the Grand Prix, which they are what they are. We talked about the crash events. We talked about the crash bakers. Like, it's...
You know what? Like, I know that this is... I know how stupid this is going to sound to some people, but you know what I think my appeal to some of these simple games like this is growing up with the NES and just, like, you had to kind of use your imagination and there wasn't a ton of modes and stuff like that. And obviously this is a much deeper game than an NES game, but I like that they kept it so this is almost like a modern, from 20 years ago, but like a modern NES game. They're like, no. It's just it's fun. Nothing else matters, which was what the best NES games were. And I hope that makes sense. I'm not trying to say this is like an NES game. But I don't know. I like it. I fucking like it a lot. I promise everybody that this is not the last Burnout episode you're ever going to hear of this show. I promise. Now that said, Joe, because you're my guy here, if I was going to play one more Burnout, which one is it? Is it Burnout 3?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, that seems to be. Some people have mentioned Paradise.
Because Paradise is readily available, and they actually did a remake of it a few years ago. So that one's easier to get our hands on, but Burnout 3 is a better game.
Okay, yeah, that's from what I've in my now 3 weeks as a Burnout fan. That seems to be the consensus, is that 3 was the crown jewel. So I don't know when, but I'm not done with this series. This was a good fucking time. I like this stupid game.
So one of the stupid things, though, like I'm looking at the vehicle types.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously they've got all like the random ones that they obviously built off of, real cars, right?
Yeah.
But,
well, it's not obvious because I didn't know, but that's because I'm stupid.
But, okay.
To everybody else, yes. Okay, no, continue.
But you would understand the Logitech World Racer. Logitech makes mouses.
Yes.
For computers.
And controllers for subs.
Yeah. EA Racer GT. Criterion Racer GT. And here's a throwback. Etnies Racer.
The which one?
Etnies.
Etnies?
Great company.
Holy fuck. That's awesome.
Yeah, like exactly. But I mean, and that's where
the cars, like the way they tried to tag cars, kind of worked for everybody from our era, though, too, right?
Sure.
Like
Man,
they really hit home with this.
It was just like listen, like this is an EA game, but it's like EA when EA didn't completely suck ass. I think. Wait, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I'm not wrong on that. I'm almost sure it's an EA game, but I better make sure before everybody fucking yells at me for that. Burnout Revenge.
No, it was Criterion.
Oh, right. Published by EA. That's okay. I knew EA.
Yeah.
I knew EA's greasy mitts were on it. But like, man, to go back, like this game's 20 years old. It's 18 years old. Like, imagine, I miss this era when like EA, as soon as you saw those two letters on a game, you were like instantly just like, oh, this is gonna suck. You know, like I miss that. I miss that era so much.
There was such a big difference between EA and the game, and it was a sports game, and you loved it.
Totally, yeah. And listen again, like Joe said, like Criterion made it. I get it. EA's stinky fingerprints are on it, so that's just how this works.
Yeah, unfortunately, now 20 years later, yeah.
Yeah, man, better times. This game is the epitome of what Remember the Game should be. It's just go in and just be stupid and just cause problems for people and then turn it off and get on with your life. And I don't know how that is the same as my podcast, but it sounded elegant in my head. So love this fucking game. Love it.
Sounds like what I do. Listen to you on the way to work and then hate my life at work.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I get it.
Yeah, exactly. So our scoring scale is 89. Because Ark said that was the total number of cars you could unlock, and I haven't fact-checked that. I trust everybody. So we're ranking out of 89. So Joe, out of 89, what score would a man like you give a game like Burnout Revenge?
Well, shit. Now I have to do math.
You're a fucking salesman.
Honestly,
Joe.
I'd still give it a.
How much is this?
I'd probably give it a.
Sorry, go ahead.
73.
73?
Yeah, let's go 73.
All right.
Because I mean, like, I wanted to give it a solid like 9 out of 10 ish. Because I mean, the game is good for what it is, 100%.
Mm-hmm. I don't think 73 out of 89 is a 9.
That's fair.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. The scales on the show don't matter.
It doesn't matter. We can blame it on the whiskey for my math not being right.
I like it. That's sound logic. I'm going to give it a 69 because it's nice.
Nice.
And I don't think I've ever given a game a 69, and Burnout Revenge screams 69. It's a good fucking game.
That's fair.
I like it.
And I won't do it just so that it's good podcasting. I won't agree with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Buddy, fuck yeah. Burnout Revenge. Look at me. I'm a race car guy now. This is fun. That was a fun episode, man. We're literally, as we're finished recording this episode goes live in under 3 hours. So I am going to thank you, and then I'm going to get the fuck out of here and get this on the internet so people can hear it. Thank you for sneaking this in under the buzzer. I appreciate it, buddy.
I'm glad you're healthy enough to do it.
Yeah. For the record, I'm not always this unprofessional. We were set to do this like 5 days ago, and then the planet tried to kill me. But we got it in. We snuck it in. What? We still have 2 hours to spare. We could just sit here and fucking talk about sparking gaps for 2 hours. No, we better go so I can get this edited.
Yeah.
Joe, good talking to you, buddy. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, buddy. Good to talk to you. We'll talk to you guys soon.
And that's going to do it for this week's episode. Joe, thank you so much for giving me a call and talking Burnout Revenge. And obviously, Archangel Otaku. Thank you so much for your generosity for sponsoring this episode, your patience for waiting for this episode, and your excellent taste for picking such a great game for your sponsored episode with Burnout Revenge. This game was fucking dope. I really like this. I can see myself casually playing this game for years. If I'm having a bad day or if I'm too high or drunk to play something else, I'll turn this on and just smash up some cars. It's good fucking times. Okay, so I thanked Joe. I thanked Ark. Who is left to thank? Oh, yeah, you. Thank you for listening to this stupid podcast. Whether this was your first Remember the Game, maybe your 273rd, whatever number it is, I appreciate it. I know there's a lot of retro gaming podcasts out there, and that you took a chance on us, that means a lot to me. If you liked it, leave us a nice review, would you? I'm not sure what they accomplished, but I'm supposed to be asking for them. And if you want more of these, patreon.com/rememberthegame. You know it and I know it. I plug it all the time. Subscriptions start at $3 a month, and there's over 500 ad-free bonus podcasts waiting for you over there with up to 4 additional shows going live every week. Not to mention the ability to write into the show, DM with me, pick the games we play, all kinds of good stuff. It's about the best value in the history of the internet, and it keeps Molly in... Shouldn't eat treats. Keeps Molly in toys. She's got more toys than I do. Patreon.com/rememberthegame. I also have a P.O. box. You can find the address at rememberthegamepodcast.com. If you're interested, just send me a letter or something. I'll send you one back. Let me know where you're listening. We'll be friends. And I'm on Twitch. I'm trying to be on there as often as I can. It just doesn't always seem to work out. But twitch.tv/rememberthegame. My goal is to be on there quite a bit on Friday, playing some Super Mario RPG. I'm probably going to try to just stream that entire game in the few days after it comes out over on Twitch. So hopefully you can come by and say hi and do that. And I think that's it. I think that's enough. That is enough. I'm going to thank some patrons and get out of here. Thanks a lot, everybody, for listening. We'll be back next week with a Remember the Game 274. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I am going to tell you you're going to probably like it. If you don't like it, you have no taste whatsoever. And that's the truth. The stick of truth. I'm going to thank some patrons. Take it easy, everybody. Cheers. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. I could not puke up all the content I churn out every week without all of your support. The following people are at the senior executive vice president level or higher. There's the voice crack at patreon.com/rememberthegame, and as such, I am contractually obligated to thank them as quickly as possible. So a huge thank you to, you know what, I was going to go oldest to newest because that's the order I know them in. And I'm tired and my voice is still fucked up, but whatever. It's nothing ventured, nothing game. Let's go newest to oldest and really fuck with my brain. A huge thank you to Level Up Retro, Captain Steve N, VOS Rager, Wilco, Justin Blair, Diablo Spartan, Chicken Gizzards, Theodore, David Schroeder, Tess Tickle, Clockwork Orange, These Nuts, Eric Hopewell, Adam Galaxy, Still Has Interviewed, Mario Blank, Bearded Bastard, S, Alex McIntyre, Nothing Can Possibly Go Wrong, Philip Ramsey, Lotus, AJ McKirji, Johnny Zubu 81, Lord Stay Puffed, Austin from Past to Present Player Podcast, Flinny 123, Ryan Whitcomb, Big Daddy Randall, Scissor Fist, Elephant Calves, Billy and the Clonosaurus, Cody Thompson, Liquor Like Luigi, Fill Up My Mouth with Farts, Cesar, Plow King, I can't do the voice, Buy Me Bone Storm, Matt Zeus, Bula, Gluscapin, Blobby Rogers, Brian Richmond, Sabin, Guy Who Does Things, Robbie Air, Jake Callahan, Adam Blank, Still Has Interviewed Mario Galaxy, Tornado, Shoeboxers, Atrio Wormwood, Raging Irish, Mark Sneed, E-Man Trucker, The Supreme Chozorizo, Fallen Snow Kiku, Tyler Bauer, It's OG, Hired Goons, Who, B Money, Mellow Yellow 8787, Chris Hill, aka Chipspot 2000, Carbon Fiber Zombie, Benjamin Atkins, Faded Sufferance, Alex Ramos, Sour Goatface, Max Sandin, Frosty Bear, Roger Stawbox Pool Cleaner, Lord Longrod Von Huging Dom II, Marcus Mendoza, Digital Dave, Bcuz19, Beers of War, Mario Galaxy Still Hasn't Reviewed Adam Blank, This Motherfucker. That could be this MF. That could be anything. I shouldn't say that. This MF. That could stand for This Matza Fedora. Can't Destroy Her, Kevin Monroe, Dr. Nightmare 23, The Big Deal, Adam Barnett, Tyler Kakulak? I like that name, Kakulak. Nick Creature, WestGen Postman, Darth Skywalter, Rated Excellent. Solomon Soto, Just Car Pranks, Mr. Papa Giorgio, Itchy Nutsuru, Lucas Valadez, Alex R., Ryan Perry, Ted Explosion, Tom Houlihan, Neil Cooper, Alexander Camps, Dakota Guy, Works For Me, AB Killer, Knife Goes In, Guts Come Out, Kia Pup, Brandon DeZeba, Bobby Litton, Maverick, Big the Cat, Zamatos, Christopher Britt, Cam Nelly 23, Quiet Place Queen, Burt Macklin, Chevy Boy 9211, Hitchy Poo, Beef Dingleberry, Timothy Sabrinsky, John M. Watkins, On My Foot, Graham Kennedy, Musty Beetle, Radioactive Man, Maverick Marty, Christian Gabriel, Wimp 15, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Isaiah, Squeaknut, Sleeper Hit, Colin Bollinger, the Fletchman, Nerdy Hybrid, Donnie the Dude Walters, Sam Carpenter, Jones and Benham, K, Franklin Badge, John of the Adult Children Podcast, James Juan Francesco, Max Lagroom, Them Boys on the Roof, General Fury, Cody Richardson, Oroku Saki's Gardner, Chris Williams, Jimothy, Kayach, Esteban Navarro, High Plains Drifter, Hagel Waffle, Earl, Archangel Otaku, Storm Beagle, Scary Terry, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Wyatt the Surgeon Rowe, a dude named Adam, Decoy Man, Fuzzy 99, Dan Fusselman, Gabe, Matt Babineau, Studstill, Smash, Rutch's Dog Walker, Leroy Westrich, Nicola, Thomas Smith, C-Spin, Beaver Boy, Laces Out, Dan Biddy, Thomas Childs, Mega Mav, Nick Amos, Eric James, Joe the Sandman, Phil Lencher, Tyler, Juris, Dr. Mario, Mizuru, Steve Dalk, Jameer Williams, DBXJ, Madam Nudsich, still know how to say that. It's that nerd James, Elijah Burns, Chugger22, Triple Three, Frosty, no, not Triple Three, I'm fucking, Triple, Frosty Feet 492, Ballsack Teabagger, Zach Shepard, Holmes, Adam Blank still isn't reviewed, D's Nuts, Galaxy, I think that's what it says. It cut off, but that's a pretty funny name. Just a Fish, Randy Barrett, John Woodruff, Tunable Power, Daniel, Captain N, Jeff Bergeron, Zonko 504, Titan 420, Squints, Johnny from Virginia, Wolf Magic 21, Doogie, Andy Hudson, Wolfgang Darren, Mercury 869, G9 PSX, Mike Maloney, Ryan Kinchin, Zane Donovan, Morgan A-Town, Nathan Tremblay, Aaron Lawson, Scott Brooks, No One Cares, Dave Thompson, Angry Ticks, Little Bunny Fufu 89, Fraser Burns, Jordan Andrew Wright, Chris Fleury, Doug Dorn, Slick Rick, Dan of DNA Gaming, Dave McGee, James Clark, The Keegs, Andre Sharonik, Joe Buck, and that bastard, Makeshift Mellow Magic Money. Thanks. He's not a bastard. He's a nice guy. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later. Cheers.